Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. My name is PsychoGold and this is PsychoGold Videos. If you're watching this on the day of uploading, then it is the 1st of December, so enjoy these festive holidays, for that time will soon be upon us again when we are all even more broke than we are for the rest of the year. But we're not quite there yet, so it's not time to bust out the Christmas jumpers, so I'm still sporting my Street Fighter jumper. Though admittedly I don't think I hardly ever wear this one in videos, so I decided, why not? It's red, it's close enough. I do however have a Christmas jumper ready in the wings that I bought specifically for this year some time ago, I might add, because shops are way too enthusiastic about Christmas. But anyway, with my little Christmas message delivered, you are actually here for Goblin Slayer, so that's what we're going to watch right now. Today is Goblin Slayer episode 9. Now, at the end of the last episode, they fought the bargain basement version of a Beholder, and they won, and there was this weird shiny mirror thing that looks like it could be a portal to somewhere hanging on the wall. We don't know what it is, we don't know what's going to happen, and they didn't actually come across any goblins, which was actually the reason that they went down there. So it was very interesting to see what Goblin Slayer is going to make of all of this, or if he's even going to care. I really enjoyed last week's episode, and it was much more chill than the one before, where we thought we'd lost some of the main characters, so I don't have any idea what to expect from this episode, so without further ado, let's just dive straight in and find out the hard way. We're gonna watch it. 3, 2, 1, go! Oh, well, there's the mirror. We're literally carrying on from where it finished. Well, it could be an item of worship, yeah, to be fair. Is this a portal to the moon? I've got a ticket to the moon. Yeah, and it's producing a gateway. Okay. Someone has. Yes, but who? Who is the mastermind? Yeah, because they were very powerful to control that creature. Oh, the plot thickens. There's a plot. Could it be the Demon Lord? Does the Goblin Slayer even care, though? They're all heading towards you. And they all have grudges. After all, you took out the eye of their, well, leader in inverted commas. There and back again. To see how far it is? Making a nice little Hobbit reference. Are they going to go through the portal? Oh, that big foot. We've seen him before. They all, I mean, Lizard Man and the Dwarf, the Dwarf was OP, man. He was hacking people at left, right, and center. But everybody else, yeah, they all needed to improve their game plan. Yeah, pretty much. You kind of are. But to be honest, I think the Dwarf's more useful when he's not casting spells, so, you know. Damn, those rocks are pretty powerful. So, 2 rock throwers, 1 archer, and then they've got the spellcaster, the skeleton, and the lizard number in the back. Oh, wow, she's like firing left, right, and center. Thankfully, she seems to have an unlimited supply of arrows, like any good archer in an RPG. Oh, what the? What? Nice work, lizard lad. Whoa, what the? Damn, he can increase his strength like that. Why didn't he do that in the last episode? Yeah, when that big lad had come out to play. And Goblin Slayer has a score to settle with him. Those unlimited arrows I just said about, they're not so unlimited. Just make sure not to hit yourself with the flippin'. Oh! See what I mean? He's so much more useful when he doesn't have to cast spells. You can literally just punch them into death. No, he's gonna use him to take out the others, yeah. Because he'll start swinging without issue. Oh, whenever his eyes glow, that usually means something bad's about to happen for them. Oh! Oh, teamwork. Ah, I see. So he's literally just gonna crush them. Makes 53. Nice. Everybody told me that I was wrong about my theory last week, because that thing wasn't a goblin, it was a Rhea. Which is fair enough, but obviously the fact that he's wearing a face made of the skin of a goblin is why I got confused. Okay. That was unexpected. What? What? Okay, is there something going on here? Yes, it did attack the goblins. I remember that episode. Is there a conspiracy going on here? Oh, flashbacks. And then people like that elf expect us to be annoyed at the way the Goblin Slayer was killing them, sorry. Oh, okay. So she killed the people that he brought to the town, that brought him to the town? Is that what we're saying? So are we saying that the beholder was put there by her? I'm very lost. I feel like I've missed something. Oh, okay. It make a good bed for the alligator. Well, assuming that that's true, I guess that means there's no more goblins coming through the portal then. Even in my dreams, I might struggle with that one. Because I am the Goblin Slayer. I don't know why, but in that exact moment, he so reminded me of Rorschach then. Oh, he's gone, love. It definitely makes you wonder who the real bad guys are in these situations. Oh dear. Now we can have all the banter back. He wasn't asleep. Brilliant. Oh, he's gonna try and make ice cream. Oh, okay, so they're gonna come up with possibly a good way to make it. She's the only one not involved. Well, okay. This will be going down on the side of this was a happier episode. I dare say that episode didn't really... Well, no, I suppose it did. It kind of felt like it was a continuation of the last episode, but a lot more than any other one has. Well, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. That was Goblin Slayer episode 9. We don't have many episodes left of Goblin Slayer, if I'm right. It's only like a 12 or 13 episode season, isn't it? So, I'm guessing the next episode is going to start the storyline that's going to take us into the finale. I mean, unless they're going to do another 2 episodes for a different storyline and then finish it in a 3 episode if it's 13 episodes, but I'm not entirely sure. Actually, you know what? Let's look it up. So yeah, Goblin Slayer is only a 12 episode anime, so if that was episode 9, I would imagine that 10, 11, 12 are probably all going to be the same arc, so I guess next week we're going to start to see the finale start, basically. Wow, time just flies when you're having fun, man. It doesn't feel like that long ago that we started doing Goblin Slayer, and in reality it was 9 weeks ago that I did that first episode that everybody really hated me for because I did it uncut. But anyway, enough of those happy times. This episode of Goblin Slayer I thought was really interesting. I like the fact that it was literally a continuation of last week's episode. I would, like, if I was going to show this to someone else, I would actually say that this episode and last week's episode, you should watch them back to back. I like the fact that, you know, we got to see Goblin Slayer go up against his big Goblin Champion friend again. And, you know, he's kind of come back and leveled the playing field, so to speak, by literally bringing the house down around them. I like the fact that he was also technically probably has caused a lot of damage to wherever that mirror was connected to, because all of the rubble that came down that should have been on top of the mirror would have gone through to the other world. And I find it really interesting as well what the implications of that mirror existing means. I mean, are there other portals out there? Is that how goblins get into this world in the first place? Do the goblins themselves actually know this? Because the goblins mustn't have this sort of rape and pillage mindset on their own world, right? Because there's only goblins there and they seem to be all getting on together fine. living like a community, so why don't they do that when they get to Earth? Is something or someone else pulling the strings of goblins in general once they come to Earth? Because maybe that explains why goblins are the way they are on Earth, because they don't actually know themselves how they got to Earth, what's going on, and they just immediately fall back onto their lesser instincts out of fear, and by the time they start interacting with humans, who automatically assume that goblins are evil, hunt them, so then they get angry, and the cycle of hate continues. I'm not saying that is the case, they just might be evil bar stewards for all I know, and it just might be that they're not to each other. Or they are exactly that way to each other, but perhaps that was all just one tribe, and if they met another tribe, they're just as evil to each other as they are to humans. I don't know, but it's worth thinking about, and it's fun to theorize. I actually saw a post by somebody else, another reactor, who basically said something along the lines of, anime debates don't matter because it's just works of fiction, it's not that deep, chill. And I completely agree. I don't think there's any point in getting mad about it, or getting so invested in it that people, like, punch each other over it, but I don't think there's anything wrong with deep diving into the lore, or theorizing, or picking up on things that are clearly left for people who put things together. I think it's half the fun. A lot of people have told me that the theory that I have over on that time I got reincarnated as a slime was wrong, but so many people commented on that video specifically to talk about my theorizing, and even though loads of people told me I was wrong to a degree, loads of people said that they want to hear more theories. Now, I'm not going to do that for Goblin Slayer, because I don't really have any theories for Goblin Slayer. Goblin Slayer seems pretty straightforward. He kills goblins. That's about as complicated as he gets. Because he is the Goblin Slayer, as he said in this very episode. But it seems like there is a big, intricate storyline going on around him, but I don't know how heavily involved he's going to be in this storyline, how the rest of his party might play into it. This is the first time we've really had any big connection between what's going on with him and the Demon Lord and the hero, who obviously we saw in another episode. She was wiping out Demon Lord forces left, right and center and saved that girl, and then we heard about it like it was somebody talking about the story in one of the guild bars, I think, from memory. So I am wondering if at some point, probably not in this season, but maybe if there's another season of Goblin Slayer, maybe there'll be some crossover between Goblin Slayer and the hero, because I already know, because the people who read the books have told me stuff, which I'm not going to say just in case you guys don't know, because that, you know, I've done that before by accident, and then thought afterwards, I probably shouldn't have said that. But I know some stuff that allegedly might happen that makes me think that perhaps this could happen, but it might not. And that's the other thing. It's all very well telling anyone, this is what happens in the book, therefore it is fact. It will never deviate. But this is also the same people who will then list all the things that the anime didn't do that was in the book. So, no, just because it's in the books doesn't mean it's going to happen in the anime. Yes, that's not necessarily a good thing, but you can't sit there and say, well, it happened in the book, therefore it's going to happen in the anime. I don't think it's necessarily true that just because it's happened in the book, it's going to happen in the anime. Whether it's a light novel, a web novel, or a manga. And when there's several different sources that people are reading, then that just makes me laugh, because I watch people argue over what's going to happen in certain series, and one person's talking about what happened in the web novel, which 9 times out of 10 isn't canon anymore. Another person's talking about what happened in the light novel, and then someone else will come along and say, well, I'm talking about the manga, and it's like, I'm just going to watch the anime, and I'm just going to see what the anime does, okay? Cool. It's so funny. But yeah, I actually thought that he could have killed the Goblin Commander, or the Goblin Champion rather, in a much more gruesome way than he actually did. I thought, considering that he nearly strangled him to death with human hair, dropping a ceiling on him was actually quite tame for Goblin Slayer. But I did really enjoy the fight leading up to that, where they were all throwing rocks, shooting arrows. The one thing I will say though, is that when the Goblin Slayer started, it had a really kick-ass like metal track. Whenever they did fight sequences, but I've noticed in the last few episodes that that's slowly been phased out. Is that just me, or am I imagining this? I mean, there's still good music, but it's not anything like what we had at the beginning of the series, and that's kind of sad. I really like the soundtrack. I mean, so many people change that scene where he comes in the cave to be the music from Doom. And I thought that was, that was kind of like the point. Like, the music that you had was very Doom-esque, very metal, and it just fit Goblin Slayer perfectly, the way that he just comes in and slaughters goblins left, right, and center. And now it doesn't it doesn't have that same feel to it. Again, maybe that's just me. Maybe you guys will tell me that I'm imagining it, but it doesn't feel the same to me. Even if the music is similar, it just doesn't have that same sort of edge to it that it did in the beginning. I do, however, like the fact that the party is really coming together. They're very cohesive. They're a tight unit now. Like, they lingered on the fact that the elf and the Goblin Slayer, their hands were like this when she was trying to pull him over the barricade, and it was like, yeah, everybody's, properly friends now, and they're not just a group of people that travel together randomly. They are a party. And every time it looks like they might go their separate ways, they find excuses to stay together. So I don't think they're going to ever not be together now, unless something very, very, very unexpected happens in the next few episodes, like what we thought nearly happened to the priestess a couple of episodes ago. Like, they could just suddenly take rug out from under us and be like, so, this character's dead, and this character's dead, everybody's dead! But I don't know. The show hasn't really followed on in its level of violence and shock factor as it did in its opening episode. There have been a few things that we've seen in flashbacks and a few things that we've heard and implied, but nothing has matched that first episode. Whether or not you think that's a good or a bad thing probably is very personal, and personally, I think it's a bad thing because that's the first episode. That should set the tone for the world as we go forward, but with every single episode, I feel like Goblin Slayer has gotten more and more tame. And I feel like it's become less and less what that first episode implied it's going to be. Now, lots of people have said that this was always the case. Like, this isn't because loads of people complained, and that it was always going to be like this. I don't know. I haven't read any of the multiple different sources that are out there, and I haven't looked into this issue because I don't personally care whether it was the intent or not, because ultimately this is what we've got, and I'm still enjoying it. I just think that it could have been a bit more darker, and carried on its tone of this world being exceptionally dangerous. Now, they did give us to us in that episode where Priestess nearly died, but then everybody was okay in the end, so it was kind of like, you went there, but then you didn't. But at the same time, Goblin Slayer did technically nearly die, and then they had to use that, not really resurrection, but it's called resurrection magic to get Goblin Slayer back, which is the weirdest magic I've ever heard of, having to sleep naked in a bed with a virgin to somehow bring yourself back to life. But, whatever works. Whatever works. As I said in the episode, I still really want to know what the deal is with the Red Moon, given that we seem to get so much story about the Green Moon, and it seems to be confirming that this is where the goblins come from. They seem to just be assuming that we're all taking that as that is the case. And I would love to know a little bit more about Goblin Slayer's master. Like, we saw him briefly in the flashback of the last episode, so I wondered if we were going to start seeing him more in flashbacks from Goblin Slayer. But maybe that was just a one-off, or maybe that's going to be something that we'll see more of in the next season, or maybe his flashbacks, his words of wisdom will be needed in the finale storyline. I don't know, because I don't have a clue what the finale storyline is, other than perhaps they're all going to sit there and eat ice cream. Like I said, guys, I'm still thoroughly enjoying Goblin Slayer, but I'm sad that there's only 3 episodes left. But at the same time, I'm glad that there's only 3 episodes left, because it means that I'll have that little bit more free time to try and sort out some of the other anime that have ended up going on hold, not intentionally, due to the fact that I took a little bit more than I could chew from the current seasonal anime. But it's been a fun ride, and most of you guys seem to have enjoyed Goblin Slayer with me, so I am glad that I picked up Goblin Slayer. But that's going to be it for this episode, guys. If you enjoyed this reaction, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, drop comments down below letting me know what you thought of this one, and if you're new around here, don't forget to click that subscribe button and ring the bell to get notified. There aren't that many episodes of Goblin Slayer left, but we will be reacting to them as they come out, and there are plenty of other anime on my watch list and that I am currently watching and that are currently coming to YouTube. I am so close to finishing Mob Psycho 100, which means that another one will take its place pretty much as soon as Mob Psycho 100 finishes, so be on the lookout for that. And yeah, that's going to be about it for this particular episode, guys. As always, my friends, I am Psycho Gold, and I will see you in my next video. Psycho Gold, out.